Welcome to GeorgeWay Math TV.
Eish! These numbers are too big. How am I going to factor this right? It's even bigger than this head right here. Well, even though this is in this form right here, the ax squared plus bx plus c. But I'm not just going to do the AC method just like that. It's too big. So I have to break this down. And to break this down, I'm looking for a number, the biggest number, that can divide into each of these three numbers right here. And normally that biggest number that can divide into these three is the smallest number that I see right here. And the smallest number here is 5. So that means I'm going to divide each number right here by 5. So I take this 5 and I divide by 5. And it gave me 1. I take the 55 right here and I divide by 5. And that gave me 11. I take the 90 right here and I divide by 5. And that gave me 18. So because 5 was able to divide into each one of these, that means I can bring 5 outside the parentheses. And I'm going to look at the variables. I see y on this side. I see y right here. But there's no y here. So that means I cannot bring y out. So I'm going to just have 5 outside the parentheses. So now, the fraction part, this is how you do it. What times 5 will give me 5y squared? And that is 1y squared. And then what times 5 will give me 55y? That is 11y. And what times 5 will give me 90? That is 18. Okay. Yeah, this looks a little bit easier now. Alright. So now I have to try to factor what I have in the parentheses. And whenever I'm factoring, and it's in this form, but the leading coefficient is 1. It's easy. All what I'm doing right now is I'm just looking for two numbers that if I multiply, I should get this number at the end, which is 18. But when I add those same two numbers, it should give me the middle number, which is 11. So now I'm going to start searching for those two numbers. So I always start with 1. So, and I start with the multiplication part, right? So I'm doing 18 divided by 1 is 18. That means 18 times 1 is 18. But what is 1 plus 18? That is not 11. That is 19. So that means I cannot use 18 and 1. Then I move on to 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So that means 9 times 2 is 18. Which is good for the first part. But what about, what is 9 plus 2? Oh, that's 11. So I found my two numbers. Yeah. So my two numbers that I'm looking for is 9 and 2. And once I get the two numbers, because the leading coefficient is 1 for this right here, all I'm going to be doing is just have my two parentheses. And the variable that I'm using right here is a y. So I put my y and a y right there. The two numbers that I got is 9, positive 9 and positive 2. So positive 9 and positive 2. And I don't have to forget to drop this 5 down right here. And that would just be my answer. That wasn't too bad. Alright, now let's see if I can do this one too. So this one, looking at this, I have 3 terms. And it's also in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c. But the numbers are too big again. So that means I'm not just going to do the AC method right away. I have to try to break this down. So again, I'm going to look for the biggest number that can divide into 6, 48, and 54. And normally, the lowest number that I see right here can divide into each one of these. So I'm going to try 6. If it don't work, then I'll try different numbers and see which one works. But normally the lowest number here will be the biggest number that will divide into each one of these. So I'm going to try 6, which is the lowest here, right? So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 48 divided by 6 is 8. 54 divided by 6 is 9. So that means 6 was able to divide into each one of these 3 numbers. So I can bring out 6. But the variables, I see y here, y there, but there's no y here. So that means I cannot bring out the y. So I'm going to just have 6 outside the parentheses. So now what times 6 will give me 6y squared? 1y squared, right? And then what times 6 will give me the minus 48y? Minus 8y. And then what times 6 will give me negative 54? Minus 9. And at this point, I'm going to just try to see if I can factor what I have in the parentheses. So when the leading coefficient is 1 and it's in this form, it's easy. I know what I'm doing is I'm looking for 2 numbers that if I multiply, I should get this negative 9 right here. But if I add those same 2 numbers, I should get a middle number, which is the negative 8. So now I always start the multiplication. So it's negative 9, right? So I do negative 9 and I always divide by 1 first. Negative 9 divided by 1 is negative 9. So that means negative 9 times positive 1 is negative 9. But what about negative 9 plus 1? Is it negative 8? Yes, it is. So that means the 2 numbers that I'm looking for, I got it. That was first try, I got it. I was very lucky right here. So negative 9 and positive 1, right? Negative 9, positive 1. And because the leading coefficient is 1, I just do this right here. I have my 2 parentheses. The variable that I'm dealing with is a y. I put my y. The 2 numbers is negative 9 and then positive 1. And I'm not going to forget to drop this down right here. So I drop my 6 down right here. And I cannot factor anymore. So that's it. That wasn't too bad. Alright, now it's your turn. So I want you to do some of these questions on your own. So you can make sure you got this. And I know you got this.
Please don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell to be notified for new videos, and share.